Today we are honored to have Mr. Fernandez Marcus-Obiene, Special Assistant to the President on Justice Sector Reforms and ICT, joining us ahead of the Justice Innovation and Technology Summit 2025. With technology reshaping industries across the world, the Nigerian justice system must not be left behind. We need solutions, smart, reliable tools that can help improve the speed, transparency, and efficiency of justice delivery. Companies like Devon Technologies are stepping up to fill this gap, and today we'll hear Mr. Marcus's thoughts on how innovation can drive real transformation. Good afternoon, Mr. Marcus. Can we meet you?
Good afternoon. I mean, you already met me. You already described me. What is it I'm going to say? A pleasure to meet you, I guess.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me just go straight to the point. In your view, how important is the role of technology in modernizing the justice system in Nigeria?
How important? On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say 15.
Okay.
And the reason is not far-fetched. Every day we're complaining that some judges are writing longhand, they're tired. Some say they have health problems because of the long sitting hours. In addition to long sitting hours, they have to write judgments afresh. So, I mean, and apart from that, there are issues with availability of people in court. Can somebody come to court? Adjournments. Many of these issues can be sorted out with technology. In addition, people still even complain. For those of us who are litigators, we complain that there's no more advocacy anymore, because every time you say something in court, the court has to write it down. So you say, "My lord, in 2 hours, I have to." The court say, "You're talking too fast. Slow down." You say, "Okay." So that takes away from the advocacy that we ordinarily like. So because of that, a lot of the time you don't even get to advocate. You want to move a motion, you move your motion. And sometimes the difference between a court granting your motion and the court not granting it is something that you say in between. So sometimes even in writing, you may not have expressed it. You express something, but you may not have expressed it in the way that would ideally pass that opinion. But you're a better speaker, so you go and then you find that you lose that opportunity because court is writing longhand and you don't want to take the time of the court. And there are too many things really. So for me, I think that is one of the most significant things that we can use to improve justice delivery. And then when I say justice delivery now, it's not just the one that happens in court, because I think justice delivery does not just end there. There are things like citizens mediation, things like police, access to police, etc. All round, each of those things require technology, especially given the poverty. I wouldn't say poverty, let me not use the word poverty, but I would say given our position as a developing nation, where a lot of our people don't have access to as much funds and a lot of places are still difficult to reach, technology should ideally provide a easy access for each of those individuals to justice, or to the various things that constitute justice in our modern world. So yes, like I said, 15 over 10, or maybe I should have said 30 over 10.
Because it seems like it's quite a lot of things.
Yes.
Okay. So where do you see the biggest opportunities for digital tools to make a difference?
So this question, are you asking within the context of the courtroom or generally?
Generally in the justice system.
I mean, there are a bunch of things. There are quite a few things. In the courtroom, there's transcription, live transcription. So several years ago, I remember reading a book. I wasn't present, but I don't think I was born at the time. But there was an arbitration, and after the arbitration, each party would go and see the transcript of what I'd been reading, and then if you needed to make changes, you could make it. Tell them, no, this one is not correct, this one is wrong, and then of course it will be approved by the court. But that's before I was born, I think, and I'm several years old. I'm several decades old, and we still don't have that in many of our courts. So I think it's important. And fortunately, unfortunately, we have technologies that allow real-time transcription. We have technologies that provide real-time transcription rather. So you don't necessarily have to even wait for somebody to be typing. So for me, it's a problem that we're not using it. I know that for long periods, people have found it not to be trustworthy in some areas, but the technology has developed over time. Now we even have things that are transcription from local language and in local language that is being developed by different aspects. I know the Federal Ministry of Communications, Information and Communication had worked with Llama 2 to sort of train AI based on the transcription services based on our voices, our local languages. And I know that more is being done in that field. Even with the Google, with Microsoft Word. I mean, sitting down here in my office, if I wanted to, what I'm saying could have been easily transcribed here with my Microsoft Word. I don't even have to go too far to anywhere else. So these things are available and these things are things that should be used. There are also things like the way evidence is taken in Nigeria. There are lots of process problems with it. The way evidence is stored, the way evidence is kept, the way proceedings are run generally. You have somebody who is in prison who needs to pay transportation to come to court, or in prison who they need to pay his transportation rather for him to come to court. So you find that, and then we have limited transportation vehicles, but with appropriate technology, you would find that you can just reach him from the prison, so there's no need to bring him forward. I mean, there are lots of things. You said the most. You said the most. I would say one of the most significant, I think, is anything that allows people to allows us to have real time outside the courtroom, real time access to data
Okay.
of what's happening within the entire justice system. So when a person is arrested, when the person is remanded, when the person is charged to court, when the person is released, so that's anything that allows us real time data, because in terms of decisions that need to be made, we need data. And if you don't have the data, if you're making a decision, it can be in your mind, because the people in the city or the people in the area where you are doing something, or they are vocal about certain things, you assume this is the case. But then when you now do implement technology, you realize that this one isn't really working, that what we need is actually to do some other thing in another area. So it's important that we have data properly. I mean, other things are there too within the court. Transcription for me is it's a very significant thing that can solve. There are also things like judgment writing assistance, and I know that this is not a very conventional thing to say, but I think we're getting there. The judges are overburdened with cases. Judges and justices are overburdened with several cases a day, and sometimes, I mean, just like me now, I'm writing this opinion, and I'll spend a lot of time thinking about it, and I now spend an even longer period of time writing it. So if there were some way that I could get easier first draft that was secure, that I could get first draft, or even if it's not a first draft, opinions on certain aspects of the case judgment, it would be nice. It would be helpful